Consider our wealth of natural resources, ideal geographical location, manageable landscape, and fertile soil, abundant land, and a small population. Consider also that we speak the world's leading language, have multiple diverse cultures, and we are a warm and welcoming people. What then is preventing us from creating the Guyana that we all desire? What if Guyana lived up to its potential?
Thanks for joining us once more. This is the 7th episode of the Facing the Future television program. I'm Carrie-Ann, and joining us once more is Tishana. She is also a member of Rights of Children ROC, one of the member organizations of the FTF initiative. We are back to our usual format this week because in our last show we accommodated the showing of the FTF conference held in late January. So today we'll get to see what our young people have been up to in the Community Challenges campaign across the country. In my segment, I will continue with electoral reform, and later on in the show, I'll give you an update with regards to the signature campaign.
And I'm doing a continuation from one of our previous shows, which focused on racial tensions in the 1960s. This time we visited Linden to gather an insight of what took place up there. And we hope that our intended message is not distorted, but as Guyanese, we can learn a great lesson from it. So let's get straight into today's program.
This segment focuses on electoral reform and showing citizens that they can make a difference in the way things are done right here in Guyana. In light of our ongoing budget debates, we wanted to find out how do parliamentarians ensure they are really representing the views of the people. And at the same time, we also wanted to get the point of view of the citizens. Take a look at this short clip and remember, it's all in trying to bridge that gap between Parliament and the citizens. Do you know which parliamentarian represents your area?
No, I have no idea.
No, I'm not really au fait directly with the parliamentarians.
I don't know so much about parliamentarians.
I'm not really aware, apart from, the people I see on the newspaper.
I know two of them. Well, to be honest, I've never really met a parliamentarian.
To have a conversation with one of them, it's like pulling teeth without any kind of anesthetic.
Good day, everyone. I'm pleased to present here Mr. Anil Nandalal, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
How did you get into politics and how did you become a member of Parliament?
So I joined the People's Progressive Party sometime 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I have been in the party since. And the rest is history.
Did you go through any particular stages or how?
Well, I had to start as an ordinary member, and then the party has a mechanism by which you rise in the party structure.
So we welcome Ms. Eula Marcelo, Member of Parliament for the Alliance for Change. Welcome.
Thank you.
So how did you become interested in politics or become a member of Parliament?
What I thought was that once a representative can be found within that geographical location or constituency, the person on the ground who know the problems or issues affecting the people, he or she would be able to evaluate the conditions or issues that they are concerned about, so as to give a better representation as at a higher forum.
So we're here with Ms. Africa Selman. She's a Member of Parliament for a Partnership for National Unity. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
In 2006, I was asked by the leader of the PNCR, Mr. Gorman, to go on the PNCR's list of candidates, which I accepted, against the background that I was lecturing political science at the University of Guyana. And I felt that, okay, since I was doing the theory, it would be interesting to know what the practical thing is.
What do you think parliamentarians should be doing?
I think they should make themselves more aware to the public.
Well, hopefully, I think that they're supposed to be serving the best interests of the people.
Parliamentarians are supposed to represent the people.
Well, first of all, they have to know themselves.
They should be more objective in doing in carrying out the service.
First of all, if they're assigned to a region, they should see what are the needs of the community. And
So what is your specific area of interest? What is your role as an MP for the AFC?
Well, my role as an MP in AFC is basically the representative of the constituency that I belong to.
Okay.
But I cannot say Amorindians alone, because this constituency is a multi-mix constituency. We have multi-mix, right?
Which constituency is
Region
that?
8.
Region
And
8.
this Region 8 is made up of like 21 different locations.
Okay, so what is your specific area of interest? What is your role as an MP?
Okay, you know, I think even in governments, they rotate you, and this is my 6th year in the parliament.
Okay.
In 2006, I was shadowing culture, youth, and sport. But now I'm responsible for the East Bank of Demerara, basically like a geographical representative. In addition, for the portfolio, I'm in the cluster that deals with foreign policy.
I am to report to the Parliament and all aspects of my ministry. My ministry includes the Supreme Court, the Magistrates Court system, the Court of Appeal, every aspect of the judiciary.
If you had a problem, how would you go about getting it to the attention of parliamentarians?
Find out from persons around the area. Usually elders, they usually know a lot about these sort of things.
Simply calling an office and asking for the name of the person in charge, the amount of information you have to give as to your name, why you want it.
Well, I normally will go to Parliament themselves when the House is in session.
I would like write to the newspaper or something and seek some advice.
The only time you can meet these guys are probably at their professional office and not at parliamentary office, because they're none for them.
How do you respond to the needs of citizens if they should
Well, most weekends I spend visiting communities. I am also deeply involved in the party structure. The PPP has a particular structure. And so far as it relates to Region 4, I connect with that structure and I interact with that structure on a regular basis, and that structure allows me to engage in a organized way with various communities that fall under my responsibility.
Well, since I'm known as a teacher, and since I work in the public sector in health, I'm mostly acquainted and people are accustomed to speaking with me. So they can find me in my workplace, on my way, in marketplace, at my home. I'm available anywhere they can find me. But when it comes to different far-flung locations like Itaba, Carisparu, and those places, we can communicate through radio.
We usually meet with the councillors once every month at least, and our party, we have groups in the various regions, including Region 4 and the East Bank. We have active groups, and so you meet with the groups, and the people in the groups, they're very much involved in politics, and they are able to tell you, okay, these are the concerns of the communities.
How can they make themselves more available to the public?
Well, by the media.
Yeah, by they only keep him meeting when election time, and then I'm done with that afterwards.
I think they should actually meet the community, not just at election time, but
first of all, we need to start working in the communities to analyze the situation of the communities. If they don't do that, then they won't know what the people need.
technology has improved quite a lot. They can have an emailing address.
What happens if you agree with someone from an opposing party? Are you free to go along with those?
As was stated earlier, we basically are dedicated to our parties, and we basically follow their instructions, and if they have to make a decision pertaining to big issues, we cannot really join with the opposition. We stick with our party.
Party politics dictates that you follow the party line.
Okay.
Notwithstanding the recall legislation, even though that's there, the lists of the party selected you to represent the people's interests. So I am not there to represent my interests. per se. So even though I may have a view, my personal view, if it contradicts the party's position, which is greater than my view, because my view is one part of the whole. You have
Good
the
or
entire
bad.
membership,
Good
the
or
entire
bad.
membership, and the entire membership may not support what the government is doing, even though I may hold a view which says that maybe they're not doing too bad, but my view is not relevant. What is important is what the membership feels and what the membership believes in.
Speaking from the perspective of the People's Progressive Party, that is not the position, because the PPP has always been a party that is closely connected to the people. So our interest always coincides with the interest of the majority of the people. So you would hardly find a situation where the position taken by the PPP on a given issue is in collision with the majority of the people. Like I went to the electorate on the People's Progressive Party list. So it is the PPP that went to the electorate. And therefore, when you owe responsibility to a party, you owe responsibility to all members of the party.
What would you say are your overall goals for Guyana or your constituency as a member of parliament?
I would like to see equal access to all the resources that we have, equitable distribution of the resources, to see that people are paid living wages.
Just want to see the young people being trained, the manpower being developed within the whole of the nation. And when it comes to training, all of them must get the equal opportunity.
Most fundamentally, that I am able to contribute to the improvement of the lives and livelihood of the people of my country.
Thank you for staying tuned. I hope I'm able to grasp your attention for the next few minutes. My name is Tiadi Welch, and this is the Community Chance segment. Its aim is to encourage young people to believe that they can change the thing that makes Guyana a less unattractive place to live in by, first of all, confronting the issues within their communities that makes it a less unattractive place to live. For example, some issues that can determine whether a community feels welcoming and inclusive are: do people of all races feel welcome? Can persons with disabilities easily function? Is there adequate facilities for them? Are they young and old? Male, female, rich and poor treated equally? What about our noise pollution, minibuses, sexual harassment at girls, alcohol consumption? Today, we'd like to focus our attention on a problem that affects 90% of Guyanese. That is the environment. If you've lived in Guyana long enough, you will see a tremendous way in which we dispose our garbage and the way the environment is being taken care of by relative authorities. This is something that we need to take seriously. If we do not, we will suffer, as we have seen in the 2005 flood, or more recently, when it rained continuously for 3 days. The video that you're about to see are some short PSAs that were done by high school students all across Guyana. Let's take a look.
Sometimes I get so tired of having to clean so many times. Sometimes so much gets on my uniform. I get so frustrated. Another time, I just can't open the window. Even though the place is so hot, I prefer the heat than the toxic smell and smoke.
I have so much of it in my lungs. The doctor said I had asthma all my life.
Uncomfortable, right? It can get more serious. Imagine every breath that you take may be killing you slowly.
Man, I shouldn't do this, you know. It's wrong. I've just passed the bin.
I'm not bringing harm to anyone. Besides, there are people paid to clean it up. Why should I be keeping junk in my bag anyway?
I'm a good girl. This will be my first time doing it. Alright, my second. Okay, my third time. Maybe I should wait. But I already have enough things to carry.
Stop crying. Just tell us what happened.
We were just walking along the seawall. You know? Just talking. That's when it happened.
You know what? I'm having such a good time with you, you know. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Get up!
We can all agree that the PSAs were well executed, and the students who worked on them should be greatly commended. The environmental problem has affected us way too long. Simple things such as cleaning your drains twice a week and proper disposal of household garbage can make a big difference in the way the problem impacts our lives. Remember, our community challenge is still on. So if you're interested in doing something useful in your community, we encourage you to call the number listed on our screen below. It doesn't have to be a short PSA that you have produced, but it can be a creative or imaginative way of highlighting some issues within your community. The challenge does not lie in you solving a problem. It would be great if you do so, but it really is to attract as much attention to it as possible so that the relative authorities can make the change.
You're watching the Facing the Future television program, and thank you guys for staying tuned. On our last show, I spoke with some older persons about their personal experiences of living on the East Coast during the 1960s. A lot of persons called in to share their stories and to add, quote-unquote, what we may have left out. But I want you guys to remember that the show is only 30 minutes, so we try to get as much information in as possible. But nevertheless, thank you guys for your contributions. Last year, during my trip to the archives, I remember reading about the Son Chapman Ferry being blown up. And I don't think a lot of young persons, especially living in Georgetown, would know about this story. So I thought it would be interesting to uncover another part of our history that persons in their 20s and even their 30s might not be aware of. Some persons may think that we're bringing up stories that have unpleasant reminders or that we're only focusing on one side of the story. But we believe that as Guyanese, if we want to get over the trauma of the situation, we must first try to analyze it, and by doing this we must begin to share our stories. Please take note that we're not focusing on who's to be blamed or why it happened, but we're simply storytelling. We thought a great place to start would be to speak to the owner of the ferry, Mr. Chapman himself. Remember, this incident took place almost 50 years ago, so it was difficult to find someone to give an account of what took place. Some parts of it might be slow because of their ages, so please try to follow the bits and pieces of the story. Let's listen.
My name is Norman Jacob Chapman.
Yep.
Of Linden, owner of the Sun Chapman. You had the record there on paper before that they were planning to blow up the Sun Chapman.
Okay, so there were rumors that the Sun Chapman was going to blow up. So did you have like your crewmen search the ship?
Right. And that day, they didn't, the police fire station didn't search the boat that particular morning because they've been getting rumors all the time. And when they got the, they say, we're wasting your time. The men themselves make checks and so on. Right?
Your crewmen?
Yes. But the boat was moving from Fish Coco to Big Market. The boat loaded and left. But before it leave, some Indian people, not mad bad people, told some the black people don't travel the lands today. Bad thing will happen. And other persons, some of them travel, some say, man, levy dead man, people say we gonna go. They're freaking we, say we gonna go, man. If you're dead, we're dead. After they pull out, some people stopped before the Urdaya and came out. I think 2 men. Mrs. Carroll was sitting on the seat. And the bomb, according to Dr. Clokey, the bomb must have been under the seat. So when the bomb exploded, it destroyed all the chains for steering and so on the because it passed right there. And after the blow, the big fire inside there, the captain trying to steer the boat to go in the corner, but it can't go, it can't steer. The boat going straight through, and the engine full speed. You can't get none to control it no more because you control there. And boat start to go down. So the captain went take life by. They had life bucket and hold it and say, "Are you come now? Look, take life by, take life by, take life by." The captain said the people there like mommy sit down so they couldn't respond. It's terrible. I wouldn't like that to happen again.
Another interesting person in this incident that we were able to speak to is actually a survivor of the Sun Chapman ferry mishap, Miss Patsy. Let's listen to her memories of the riots in Linden during the 1960s and the sad day when the ferry went down.
When I left, no one go out. When the tragedy, when the 64 riot they come about.
Tell me about the 64 riot.
Oh God, that nasty bad. Then there was nothing for see good. Then good at all. The same people were used to there between the same people. Rape them little children. Rape them people, throw them, put them overboard. It was not nice. All upon the sandbank or so. All upon the road of them man. I got them woman. Take off them clothes and let them run into the station. Yes, them East Indian people, and them same black people used to live with them. They're between everybody. Well, I had me little thing them over the West Bank. I left me thing there by the West Bank. Well, I had a boyfriend. Oh, he there behind me, And when the Sunday now, night I hear he call. I said, what you doing here? Harry, I ain't tell you I want to marry you. When we go up on the stallion, a man tell me, say, where you going, Patsy? I said, going up to Linden back. He said, but you know, here Sun Chapman go blow up today. Well, we meet at Urdaya now. Well, it had a man and his wife and his child. They take out a bag of flour, potato, onion, and the boat start go down. You start hearing the engine going duk, 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 and the boat going down. And everybody jumping out all about when the water come red, it's a black water if you see.
Oh, it red. A man named Axley Lanch, they coming up to, and he meet the tragedy there, and he bring we up, and when we land there, oh Lord, fire upon Linden. Wow. All who house start burn down again, so it wasn't nothing nice for us to see. You see when they're bringing up them dead, oh Jesus, you think it's a raft. You saw them whole lamp of Matty. Son Chapman had enough people in the boat. When I was a child, black people on East India was too good. It's one mother make Cain and Abel. One woman make two race. See? So that is how the whole thing come with riot. With the riot up here with Son Chapman, politics. And until now, like them in seeing his politics. Bonham and Jagan was so. They're loving people. And we were there outside then killing Matty.
We at FTF don't know who directly was responsible for the explosion, but almost 50 years later, we are still stuck in the time frame of Afro versus Indo. Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese have long realized that the problem is not between themselves. It is between the two major political parties, both of which have set Guyana back psychologically 100 years. The aim of this segment and the previous one done on the East Coast was not to bring up bad memories or to decipher who's to be blamed. Instead, it was done to help Guyanese be awakened from the deceitful dangers of ethnic-based politics and to try to unlearn all decades of Indian versus African thinking. It's almost the end of the show, but please stay tuned for Carry On. Since our last program, we've had an increase in the number of persons that have called in. So for those of you who have, please, thank you guys for your contributions. If you have any ideas or comments for the shows, please feel free to call on the number listed below, or you can send me an email at facingthefuture2011@gmail.com. I know a few persons tried calling on the weekends, but just a little advisor, you should only try calling during the weekdays.
This brings us to the end of today's program, and we do hope that once again we were able to bring a very informative session. So a brief recap of today's show. In the electoral reform segment, we were able to speak to a few persons in the street about what they thought the roles of parliamentarians were. And we were also privileged to interview a few MPs themselves. Coming out of the interviews, we were able to draw two main conclusions. Firstly, parliamentarians view their role as representing the people through their party. On the other hand, the ordinary citizen feel a more direct relationship to the MP, although most of them have never been in contact with an MP, or they might not even know who are the people representing their area or specific geographic constituency.
So as one of our future shows, you could probably do parliamentarians' accountability to the people.
Yes. In our second segment, Tiari went into environmental issues, where she featured some top-class public service announcements from our young people. So I really hope that you enjoyed that.
Yeah, and in the third segment, it was actually a continuation of one of the previous shows, which focused on racial tensions in the 1960s. The intended message was not to bring up unpleasant memories, but to help Guyanese who lived through that time to get past any lingering racial tensions.
So thank you for staying tuned. But if you want to see past episodes, you can visit us on YouTube at Rock21Able. Don't forget our website is www.facingthefuture.com.gy. So thank you.
See you next month. Bye.